back with Victor again. Talking sales. Talking listening. We talked listening last time. Why don't we build on that a little bit?
We did that. We did this already.
Yeah, we did the listening.
What's missing?
You can't listen if you don't have any questions.
Correct.
If you don't ask them any questions, they're not going to talk, right?
Correct.
So I think that let's talk a little bit about the power of questioning and the powerful questions that you can ask folks to kind of guide decisions and make your way down the road.
I love it. Now, before we go there, I want to ask you, what are some of your favorite questions to ask when you're in, whether you're talking to the customer? What are some of your favorite questions?
Yeah, some of the simple stuff, right? I mean, the directed ones. How long are you going to stay in the home? How did you feel about that? What was the impact on you? I mean, what did you think when you found out that was going on in the house? Trying to get the emotional piece of it,
right?
Because they're already kind of flipped out a little bit.
Gotcha.
So I always try to lean on the emotional, so then I can provide a little bit of empathy and kind of tell them that I get it, I understand it. I've had customers that have felt that same way before.
Right.
I like a lot of that kind of banter,
right,
to kind of get them to talk. How did you feel when that happened? Or, boy, how did you folks figure that out? When did you realize that was going on? And what did you do at that point in time? So those are just some real rough ones, but just real big beginning.
I love those. I love that. There's an emotional connection with those, right? And that's what I love about them. I learned a while back that I used to think questions were just questions, right? Just kind of questions. But until I realized that questions can be used to guide the decision-making process. So I'm going to have you guys out there do an exercise. Ed, you can do this with me to make sure about it. Yeah, so I want you to break out a pen, pencil, piece of paper, and I'm going to do it right here. You're not going to be able to see what I'm writing now. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm trying this live for the first time. And so if it fails, it is what it is. That's why we do what we do. Now, here's what I want you to do. Listen carefully, okay? I want you to pick a number between 2 and 10. Go ahead, pick a number between 2 and 10. Okay, you got your number down. Write it down. Just write your number down between 2 and 10. All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is take that number and multiply it by 9. Okay, multiply by 9. Now, at this point, you should have a 2-digit number, right? Now, if you don't have a 2-digit number, you're lost already. You need to rewind this tape, right? Now, so let's say you have a 2-digit number. Now, I want you to take those 2 digits, I want you to add them together. So you should now have a new single-digit number. Got it? Boom, back to the single-digit number. Now, do me a favor. Subtract the number 5 from that number. You with me, Ed?
I'm with you.
All right, so subtract the number 5. You should now have a new single-digit number, right? All right, great. Lock that in. Boom. Now, listen carefully. That number you have, right, after subtracting 5, that number you have represents the letter of the alphabet. So, for example, if you have the number 1, you write the letter A. If you have the number 2, you write B, 3, C, 4, D, 5, E. You get the idea, right? All right, great. You got the first letter? Boom. Now, think with me. Here's where I lose a lot of people. Here's where I know that people don't know their geography, but let's see if you do. You're Oregon. All right, now, got the letter. I want you to think of a European country that begins with that letter. Write the name of that country down. Okay? Ed, do you have the name of the country?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going with France, Victor.
No, don't.
It's not
France. Wait. No. So I'm working with this crew. Okay, he's out. He's done already. Okay, so wait a minute. Somewhere you messed up. Okay, so I'm going to rewind this. I'm going to rewind this for Ed real quick. So Ed, you should have picked a number between 2 and 10. You did that, right?
I did.
You multiplied that by 9, correct?
I did.
And you had a 2-digit number, right?
Yes.
Then you added those 2 digits together, right?
That was my problem. I didn't add those 2 together.
You got to add the 2 digits together, right? So add them together.
So I got 9 now.
Okay. Well, so that's your number. So now subtract 5 from that number. Okay. So now just hold it. Don't tell me what you got. Now look at that number, and that represents the letter. So for example, you got 1A, 2 is B, 3 is C, 4 is D, 5 E, so forth. Now, think of a European country that begins with that letter. Okay? I have faith. My Orkin folks, I have faith in you. Ed, I don't know. But anyway, so okay, you with me, Ed? Do you have a European country, Ed? Okay, don't say it. Don't say it,
okay,
though.
All right, I won't.
Okay, now that you have the European country, I'm almost at the end of this. Now that you have the European country, look at the second letter. Okay, just look at the second letter. Stare at it. Now, I want you to think of a large land mammal that begins with that letter. Go ahead and write the name of that land mammal down. Now, last part. This is it. I'm finished here. Write down the color of that animal, of that mammal. Okay, now, tell me if this makes any sense. There are no gray elephants in Denmark. Did I get that?
I got it too.
There you go.
Second try, I got it. Second try, I got it.
All right, so here's what happened. So I went through this questioning sequence. I knew you were going to land at Denmark, and I knew you were going to land that it was going to be an elephant. But so let's go through it slowly. I asked you to pick a number between 2 and 10, right? No matter what number you pick, doesn't matter. Right. It'll be a single number. When you multiply it by 9, you'll get a 2-digit number.
Yep.
But if you always add those 2 digits up, it's always going to be 9.
Yep.
And so I know it's always going to be 9. So if you had 7 times 9 is what? 63, right? Yep. You get the idea. So then I asked you to subtract 5, and you get the number 4. 4 is the letter D. But here's where it got interesting. If I had said, think of a country that begins with D, you could have been all over the place. Dominican Republic, Dominica, whatever. But I said, think of a European country, and immediately your brain just zoomed over to Europe, right?
Yep.
Then I said, look at the second letter, and I said, think of a large, then I did this, land mammal. I don't know if you saw the gesture, but I did. Think of a large land mammal that begins. So immediately it comes to your mind as what? Elephant. But I inserted the word large land mammal. Because if I just said, give me an animal that starts with that letter, you said eel, emu, eagle, and egret are the ones I've heard, right?
Yep.
So by inserting these adjectives, basically land mammal, large land mammal, your brain said, it's an elephant. And obviously the elephant's gray. So this is to highlight 2 things. That if I know where I want to take you in the conversation, all I got to do is design a set of questions that will guide me to that solution. So if I want somebody to buy a certain product or service, then I'm going to ask questions that guide them towards maybe buying that product or service or that bundle.
Amen.
But also the way you ask it, by adding these adjectives, you guide the customer's behavior. So it's a silly example. I get it. It's a silly exercise. But it does drive home the point that if I can ask the right questions, I can guide somebody's thinking process, if not behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it resonates when we talk about, how we drive to solutions, right? How we try to create separation with our questioning, right?
Correct.
And, we've got a kind of a unique advantage where we offer financing, 90-day same as cash, that a lot of our competitors don't work. Right. So why don't you guide your way to position that 90 days as something nobody else can have and create that excitement around the fact that, by God, Bubba, I don't have to pay for this for 90 days until I'm completely satisfied with the service and the results that service renders, and you come out and check the job, and your boss comes out and check the job, and the other cats can't do that?
Right.
I think we guide them that way when we talk about that. Instead of talking about financing, we talk about that opportunity.
Yeah, and by the way, so on that one is having somebody coming out here to verify that the job has been done right important to you? Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it also important that you have da-da-da-da-da? Yes, it is. Now, I'm guiding you to where I'm going because I know what I'm going to say at the end. And that's the power of being able to design your questions to drive them towards a solution. So how does this work in real life? Is that I get to a location, I kind of make the quick assessment, I do the walk through the house. Now I know what I want to suggest. I got my 3-part offer, right? The 3 cheeseburgers. And I know that I want a bundle, and I want to sell them the bundle because I really believe that the bundle is more effective for them, and in the long run it's going to be better. Then I'm going to design my questions during the presentation when we're going through all the options that will guide them to that bundle.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen. No, I mean, that makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
And again, sorry for screwing up the math. And here's the problem, folks. I did this exercise like 10 years ago with Tim, and I knew the answer going in, but I couldn't get my numbers to get me there. So appreciate that. So again, you can't be a good listener if you're not a good questioner, and this is strategically planning your questions to take them down that path that you want them to go. So,
and by the way, that's like combo selling, right?
Absolutely.
You're listening and you're asking great questions. Boom, boom.
Amen. All right, let's get out of here.
Let's do that.
Continue to separate yourself from the competition by being different. Good selling. We're out of here.